Hello friends, Ace 14, next episode. In this episode, we'll be discussing morphology of flowering plants, third one. And main items in this episode, leaf and inflorescence. So for convenience, I will share the screen so it'll be easy for you. I think screen came, so we can proceed. What all things we'll be learning in the third part of morphology of flowering plants? As usual, there will be an introduction, then leaf, then inflorescence, followed by 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question with the key. So we can just proceed. As an introduction, we already completed root and stem. Next we have to proceed is leaf. After that, inflorescence. So leaf and inflorescence, like stem and root, important 2 areas of the life of the plants. Leaf is concerned with the photosynthesis and food production, even though they can also involve in vegetative reproduction. Inflorescence is concerned with the reproductive process, specifically sexual reproduction, and inflorescence will attract insect for pollination. I think this idea is clear to all of you. Now we can proceed to next page. Because we should know what we will be studying in this episode. This is different photographs of leaves. Even some previous editions of NCERT I put here. That is why just given NCERT figures. Old edition NCERT book, that figure is also kept here. Present edition, this much diagrams will not be there. So these all diagrams will be showing shape of the leaf, size of the leaf, tip of the leaf, margins of the leaf, then that venation, veins, then simple or compound leaf, then arrangement of leaf, phyllotax, everything will be here. That is why I put all this together for your reference. I think we can proceed to next page. Next page also we can find some more photographs that is dealing with the modification of leaves. That part originally not in present syllabus, but we should just pass through it, just like stem modification. Then this is standing for heterophyly, what we studied in plant growth and development. This also NCERT figures, some of them are old edition NCERT. Now I think we can proceed. So when we come to leaf, what is a leaf? As usual, we should know what is a leaf. NCERT clearly says it. Leaf is a lateral, generally flattened structure, borne on stems, develops at nodes, and bears a bud in its axil. And this axillary bud later develops into branch. Leaves, from where it originates from shoot apical meristem. And how they arrange? They're arranged in an acropetal order. These all are NCERT usual question. And one of the major function of leaf is photosynthesis. I think up to that it is clear. Now parts of a typical leaf. NCERT wise, when we analyze, we can find basically 3 parts will be there. One is leaf base, other is petiole, and third is called lamina. I think this page also clear. Now we can proceed to next page. We can start with the leaf. So photograph is there. So it will be easy for you because when I explain all the parts side by side, I put this photograph for your easy reference. So leaf base. So when the term leaf base comes, we can easily guess it is the lower part of the leaf where it is attached with the stem at the node. See, this is leaf base. Here. So petiole, this is leaf base attached to the stem at the node. I think that position is clear. That is why I put this diagram. NCERT only. Now, it is also called hypopodium. Hypo means lower. Podium means where leg is rested. That is called podium. Poda, arthropoda, jointed legs. So podium. So where leg is kept. That is here it is attached. I think this part is clear. That is lower part, hypopodium, leaf base. Now connected with it, there is a structure called stipules. So what are stipules? 2 lateral leaf-like appendages or structures, small structures called stipule. Here it is marked. So diagram is so clear. Function is protection in young stage. If stipule is there, it is called stipulate leaves. Typical example is Rubiaceae, coffee family. In certain plants, monocots, leaf base expands. It is called sheathing leaf base and will form a sheath-like covering. Will cover stem partially or wholly. In leguminous plants, near the leaf base, swellings will be there. Leguminous plant, Papilionis members, swellings will be there, and they are called pulvinous. They are called pulvinous, and what is the function of pulvinous will be causing sleep movements, and the reaction is linked with the turgidity, availability of water, etc. I think up to that it is clear. So leaf base is over, stipule is over. Now we can proceed to petiole. Petiole means this is the place, this is the structure. So this part and this part get linked with the petiole. So leaf base and base of the lamina. This is the base of the lamina, this is the leaf base. So these two are linked by, connected by petiole. If petiole is there, it is called petiolate. So base of leaf base and base of lamina connected through to stem, it is called petiole. Otherwise, petiole is called mesopodium. Previous case, hypopodium. This is mesopodium. If petiole is absent, it is called sessile. Petiole means just like a stalk, sessile. Now, functions of petiole. Petiole helps to hold the leaf blades to light. So each structure has got function. Nature not given as a waste. There is a function for each structure. So petiole helps to hold the leaf blade to light. Petiole will be long, thin, flexible. So petioles, if it is long, thin, and flexible, allow the leaf blades to flutter in the wind, movement, thereby cooling the leaf and also to bring fresh air to leaf surface. That is the NCERT page number 60 it is given. That's why I told you each structure has got a function for nature. I think function of petiole is clear. Now we can proceed to next structure. Now comes the lamina, what we usually call it as a leaf, green colored area. So it is the upper expanded part of the leaf. It is marked there, labeled there, so it is clear. So it is the upper expanded part of the leaf, usually green in color. And it is also called epipodium at the highest. Epi means above, epidermis, epipodium or leaf blade. We can also find veins and veinlets on this leaf lamina, and which gives support to leaf blade and also conduction of water and food, etc. Size, shape, margin, tips, incision varies. That I have shown in the page number 2. Midrib is the prominent vein at the center of the lamina. Here it is marked. So diagram is very clearly labeled. That is why I put all this diagram in each page when we correspondingly discuss. I think up to that it is clear. Hypopodium, mesopodium, epipodium. Now comes the term venation. Usually 1 mark theory question. So venation means leaf lamina contains veins and veinlets. The arrangement of veins and veinlets on leaf lamina is called venation. And venation also provides rigidity, strength, and it also helps in conduction. I think up to that it is clear. Now we can proceed to further details of venation. Now comes types of venation, basically 2 types. So pictures are clear. One is reticulate, one is parallel. Reticulate, how the arrangement, like a network. So veinlets network-like arrangement typically seen in dicots. Now when we come to parallel, here you can find parallel arrangement that veinlets or veins will be parallel arranged as in monocots. But remember, usually in dicot, it is reticulate, monocot, it is parallel. There are exceptions. That is a popular question, even though not directly mentioned in NCERT. So dicot with the parallel venation, that is an exception. Normally dicot with reticulate venation, but here we are discussing dicot with parallel venation. Example is plants like calophyllum, corymbium, eryngium. Same manner, monocot with reticulate venation. Typical example is smilax that we have learned in Liliaceae, Colocasia, and Dioscorea. I think page is clear. Now we can proceed to next page. Next is types of leaves. So when we come to types of leaves, leaves may be different types. For us, basically 2 types, simple leaf and compound leaf. Both the diagrams given, description given, it will be easy for you. Any important item is separately given in separate color. So simple leaf means when the lamina is entire, or suppose if it is incised, incision of the lamina do not touch the midrib. That is simple leaf. Now counter. When the incision of the lamina, typical example, simple leaf, all the normal leaves what we observe, it is simple. Majority of the leaves will be simple. Now, now we are proceeding to the second part, compound leaf. So when the incision of the lamina reach up to the midrib, so incision is too deep, breaking it into a number of leaflets. That is why it is called compound leaf, and basically two types of compound leaves, pinnately compound and palmately compound. Pinnately compound in the sense, just like a feather, we can find bird's feather, how that hairs will be arranged, same manner. Number of leaflets are on a common axis, that is called rachis. This is a diagram. Common rachis or midrib. Example is neem, milia. Now, second is palmately compound. The term came due to resemblance without palms, but it should be deeply incised up to center point. Here it is not there. Up to this center point, it should come. Separate leaflets. So, palmately common leaflets are attached at a common point, at tip of the petiole, just above the petiole. Up to that incision will be there. Example is silk cotton tree. And this way, NCERT explains it in page number 59, 60, 61. Now, here I given a separate coloration. A bud is present in the axil of the petiole in both the simple and compound leaf. It's a famous question, but not in the axils of the leaflets of the compound leaf. That means in the axils of the leaflets of the compound leaf, you cannot find bud. A bud is usually present at the axil of the petiole in both the simple and compound. In between leaflets, no bud is seen. I think idea clear is an important question. Now we can proceed to next page. Now, phyllotaxy. As usual, phyllo means leaf, taxa means level. So it is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch. The aim is to get maximum, if possible, uniform sunlight. So maximum light should be there, it should be uniform. Basically for us, three types. Diagram very clear, alternate. So one leaf in one position, then another in another position that way. Very clear diagram, easy to follow. Alternate, sun for mustard. Then this is opposite. Opposite means this way. Opposite. Again, Goa. Next term, not so familiar, but it's a question. Opposite decussate. That is, first two leaves will be this way. Next two leaves will be 90 degree to first two form leaf. That means first two leaves this way. The next two leaves this way. The next two leaves this way. That is opposite decussate, calotropis. Now, next is world. World means from a node, many leaves will be there. World, Nerium, and Alstonia. That is regarding phyllotaxy. I think idea clear. Alternate, opposite, decussate, world. Example wise, match the following diagram based question. Now we can proceed to next area. See, next area originally not in direct syllabus, but still we should know it, just like modification of stem. For us, basically, see the reference I am making with NCERT page number 61, March 24 reprint edition, where this aspect not mentioned. But still, if you know it is good, any question comes, it will be good. Leaf tendril. Tendril already we know, stem tendril we studied. So leaf tendril means leaves will be modified into tendril. So leaves modified into long, slender, thread-like, moreover sensitive to touch and easily get coiled on a support. Function is support, climbing. Example is sweet pea. Then pisum. Specifically pisum, we can find upper leaflets will be forming tendril. Here you can find the diagram. These are original diagrams. Now next is leaf spines. Original means photographs. Leaf spines. Here the leaves get modified into sharp pointed structure. Purpose is to reduce water loss. Transpiration that should be reduced. And also gives a protection. Example is cactus. Now comes phyllo. So common question. Phyllo. Here petioles are doing photosynthesis since leaves are small and ephemeral. Ephemeral, I told you many areas it comes ephemeral means short living. Typical example is Australian acacia. Correspondingly photograph I shown them. Now next is insectivorous. Vorous means consuming, eating, insect eating. Here leaves or parts of leaves get modified into traps for getting insect. It is mainly due to deficiency of some minerals in the soil. So getting insect and to get nutrients from it. Typical example for us is, one is pitcher plants, where leaf lamina modified into pitcher, lid is the leaf apex. It was a popular question, this one. Another insectivorous plant is called Venus flytrap. It is called Dionia. Photograph is there. Now, when we come to next area, that is storage organ. So here leaves will act as a storage organ. Typical example we already studied in onion, Allium cepa, Allium sativa, fleshy leaves will store food materials. They told you pitcher plant. Pitcher plant is Nepenthes. This is the famous pitcher plant. Then Venus flytrap, I told you it is Dionia. Next photograph is Dionia. Now, storage again I already told you that is onion, alien sapa, alien sativa. That is regarding leaf. Now, the next item for us is inflorescence. So what is inflorescence? What is importance of it? Is it advanced? See, inflorescence means the arrangement of flowers on the floral axis. Inflorescence axis is called peduncle. Stalk of individual flower is called pedicel. And inflorescence is formed to increase the efficiency of pollination. Inflorescence is supposed to be advanced than flowers. And more perfect inflorescence is inflorescence of composite or astraceae, which is called head or capitulum. Now, classification of inflorescence. See, when we come to classification of inflorescence, what is the criteria for it? Depending on whether the apex gets developed into a flower or continues to grow. Two types. That is the criteria. One is racemose. In racemose, main axis continue to grow. Flowers are borne laterally in an acropetal order. Acropetal order here means older will be at the base, younger will be at the tip. Typical example is mustard, radish, lupin. Morphology examples are important, odd one type question. Next is cymose. Main axis terminate in a flower. So growth is stopped. Thus only limited growth. The flowers in a basipetal order. See, diagram you can find. Basipetal means older flower will be at the tip, young will be from the axils of the first formed old flower. Example is solanum, teak, and bougainvillea. And after that, as usual, 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question with the key. So, what all things we learned in this episode? We can just rewind it. So, we started from morphology of flowering plants. That is third one. And we started with the introduction. Then after that, leaf inflorescence, what is their importance? We entered into different photographs of leaves from different editions of NCERT showing size, shape, margins, tips, all this, and arrangement of leaves, phyllotaxy, then modification of leaves, then heterophyly, all this. What we mentioned, all this comes in these diagrams. All NCERT diagrams, new also there. Now, next we have to proceed with the leaf. What is a leaf? From where it originates and how it is arranged. Then after that, parts of a typical leaf, epipodium, mesopodium, hypopodium, leaf base, then stipules we explain, then petiole, then functions of petiole, then the upper part lamina. After that, we entered into venation. What is venation? What is the purpose? And types of venation. That is 2 types, reticulate and parallel. And reticulate and parallel, dicot, monocot exceptions. Dicot with the parallel and monocot with reticulate. Then we entered into types of leaves, where simple leaf and compound leaf, how it has been defined, simple and compound. Under compound, 2 types again, pinnately and palmately compound. Then we entered into phyllotaxy, arrangement of leaves on stem, that is to get uniform, maximum, efficient sunlight, alternate, opposite, decussate, and world with example. Then a topic not directly in the syllabus, but we should know, that is modifications of leaves, leaf tendril, leaf spines, phyllote, then insectivorous nature, then storage organs. Then the second part of our topic, that is inflorescence. What is inflorescence? What is the basic structure? What is peduncle and pedicel? And inflorescence is supposed to be advanced than flowers. More efficient inflorescence is capitulum or head inflorescence of family composite or astraceae. Then classification of inflorescence based on the apex get developed into a flower or continue to grow. Racemose and cymose. In racemose, what are the characters? Then what is acropetal? What is basipetal? And with example. After that, 5 theory question and 5 NEET model question as usual with the key. Meanwhile, that entrance model question will be continuing the procedure already 3 hours. Next will be coming within 2 days. That is based on sexual reproduction flowering plants. I'll try to cover entire topic as first round, around 38-40 question. Then we'll be discussing it also. So if you like this episode, subscribe all, like it, share it, comment on it. We can meet soon. So take care. All the best. Thank you.